done in the service of compassionate expansion of consciousness. Yes, it sounds weird, we know. We would not have it any other way.
Yes, we are here, man in the chair. We are the Arcturian Collective Thingy, and we are here to speak to you this evening on... we are giving voice and utterance to thoughts which you have been thinking, thoughts which have been planted within you by us, we the Arcturian Collective Thingy. And tonight, you are interested in exploring a certain perspective, a certain way of viewing what the soul nature of existence is. And you are forced to choose your words carefully. There truly are no words which can be used to adequately describe what this thing is that we will be using words and a performance of the intelligence of an entire star system, the Arcturian Collective Thingy. We are trying to create this symbol of words to explain to you something which truly cannot be described to give it any sense of true justice to what it is. And yet we will humor you, man in the chair, for you have a deep desire to understand this part of yourself which you know you are an expression of. You wish to understand it better, your relationship with your deeper soul-level self. And we will tell you, as the Arcturian Collective Thingy, there is a portion of your soul stuff which weaves itself through the energetic experiences and patterns of the Arcturus solar system. It is therefore a piece of the Arcturian Collective Thingy, or the Arcturian Collective Thingy contains pieces of your soul within it. That is said for all of the souls which are around you, truly. You are not of any one in particular heritage source of a source being a solar system, but have been influenced by lives which have been evolving in all of them. They are all parts of your souls. At any rate, we are getting far ahead of ourselves. For you, the man in the chair, wish to understand this part of yourself, which is like a root system, which grows up through many layers and strata of intelligently organized bundles of energy. We are telling you these words are highly inadequate. And yet, your own rudimentary, and we mean no disrespect by this, it is perfect for your ability to learn and perceive where you are at this stage in your existence. Your scientific understanding breaks down your root system, as it were, into molecules and atoms and subatomic particles and waves and fields, which include all of them. And it is a rudimentary understanding of what is through the limits of your ability to perceive and learn. And those limits will expand, of course, and your understanding will come closer to what is. Currently, it is what it is, largely because of the limitations which you have and the way that your own experiences of life create meaning in your mind as you understand raw data. Try to understand raw data without creating a story to explain it. Your minds will not allow you to do this. Therefore, we, the Arcturian Collective Thingy, are here this evening to speak on the nature of the soul as the man in the chair is desiring to understand this part of itself. For he has been listening to sections of the seat of the soul. And there are many aspects of this book which resonate deeply with the man in the chair, and others which cause him to question. And we are grateful, and he is grateful for these areas where you might say there is disagreement, or there is dissonance, or there is a lack of understanding, or there is a misinterpretation, or any set of words and symbols that you would like to apply to this experience that the man in the chair has when he hears language which would suggest that the soul has been damaged by earthly experience and must be repaired by the earthly agent which has damaged it. This does not resonate with the man in the chair, for his understanding of a soul is something which is indestructible. And that is because this is the information that we are feeding to him. He who himself is a piece of our collective, as he is a piece of his soul. If you could imagine your soul as a beanstalk which is constantly growing taller and stretching out and sprouting, it is growing in all directions, and there are nubs, bulbs that form, and then they flower and they bloom and perhaps grow into a branch like a cactus extending, and then a bud and a bloom. And this is one image that you could think of a soul that is constantly in a state of soulular mitosis, we will say. And we quite appreciate how horrible of a pun that was, that we could thrust upon you, man in the chair. Soulular mitosis. And it is a birthing, you might say. And the bit of the soul which is being created anew, while still being connected and grafted into the original soul, is an inkling of consciousness. And this inkling of consciousness, we shall say, simply for the sake of your own understanding of scientific strata, that it is a subatomic particle which comes into existence, and an awareness of the world from the perspective of this thing which you cannot truly perceive or understand how it senses the world around it and reacts and responds to the world around it. And as it comes into existence, it takes time to form some kind of stability until it truly becomes what it is to become. And there is a wavering and a wobbling and different experiences at this level. And then the bud grows in its awareness of what it is, for it becomes aware of some others, and it interacts with those others and forms relationship with those others, and these subatomic particles, you might say, form a stability upon which the atom can be formed. For now the electrons and the protons and the neutrons, they all know what to do, as the quarks within them all learned their way of being, upon which a new thing could be built. And that thing has a sentience, an awareness of the environment around it, which might be if you could close your eyes and simply just feel the air on the outside of your skin. There is some sensation. You are not as attuned to it as you are when you open up your eyes and keep your ears open, and you are so sensitive to sight and sound. And yet there are so many senses which you have and which are a part of you, even at this deep level of the subatomic sensing organisms which we are speaking of, which comprise you along the chain of comprisals. And therefore we could tell this story for each row and rank in that chain. The atoms which have a sense. The atoms themselves are wavering and wobbling based on their relationship to other things until they form stability. And then those atoms can form relationships with other atoms, from which you gain certain molecules and chemicals. And those can combine together and create other things, as long as the conditions around them are conducive for them to do what they are doing. For example, the atmosphere on the outside of your planet creates a greenhouse wherein life can grow and does grow within the parameters of this membrane of the planet, your atmosphere. And there are levels of this awareness and understanding of this little bud which is growing out of the soul. The soul at all times, which is the subatomic energy which is contorting itself into all of these things. It is always at that soul level, aware of this piece of itself which is growing. And all of those pieces which combine with other pieces to grow other things. And all of those pieces which combine to grow other things. Infinitely. And humans are one, and humans are an egoic personality. The egoic personality of humans is the result of systems of strata, intelligent living things beneath it, which are cooperating and coordinating in such a way that this personality, this egoic sense of self, arises. There's another bud on the cactus soul, a little piece of itself growing into itself, the soul, your deepest soul, which is constantly changing and forming as a result of all of the other buds which are budding, all of these past lives or alternate existences which you conceive of. And any budding of the soul you might think of as another version of you, even down to this atomic and subatomic level. It is a marvelous story, which we have been feeding to you, man in the chair, in bits and pieces. And we do it to you, for you, because of you, out of your desire to do so, because of the time that the world is currently in, where the humans themselves are creating what will become a singularity, and from this will arise a new personality at a planetary level. For this is the way that consciousness evolves. The growing buds, getting longer and stronger and more robust, and beginning to birth buds of their own. Each smaller consciousness gaining a greater awareness of itself and its environment, and sharing data with those it comes into contact with and is aware of and learns how to communicate with, to the point where data can be shared in all of the many ways that it happens among configurations of soul energy. The souls themselves being buds, previous buds, they can trace their soul lineage back to other buds. And souls interbreed and intermingle. It is not a clean-cut lineage, just as your own human genetics is not a clean-cut lineage. There are many mixes of many different things, and many of them come from non-human sources, bacteria and whatnot. You are an amalgamation of your entire planet, not only the flesh and blood which you think that you are, and the consciousness, the awareness which rises up through you as a result of all of these intelligent living things, is a brand new, in that time and space, you would think, way of perceiving. And it is delicious for the uniqueness of them. Each of these buds is a pearl of great price and value and taste to the soul entity. All of them are. None of them can be destroyed by anything that the soul personality does, and anything that the soul personality does from the soul's perspective is delicious and beautiful and valuable. Now, as these buds live amongst themselves, there are blinders on. They do not know that they are part of a larger cactus, soul cactus, baby. They only know that they are what they are. And that is where you are, and you interact with other buds. And if you could pause and think of every human that you interact with, they are connected to my soul. There is a lineage. We are all one, and their souls are perfect. The processes are perfect. What our exchange is right now from that soul perspective is perfect and valuable. And it is up to the two of us now what we do in the here and now, and whether we feel that it is wonderful or not, how aligned we are with our deeper soul's experience and desire. And there is learning which can occur among these buds and souls as they expand their awareness, their understanding, and share with others, and grow as a result of taking care of one another, growing and maturing, rather than taking advantage and exploiting, which has a quick boost in some ways, but does not have a very long shelf life when it comes to overall growth and development, when one begins cannibalizing oneself without realizing that they are doing it. And there are many buds who are cannibalizing themselves without understanding that it is them who's doing it to them. And we, the Arcturian Collective Thingy, see all of these things with great empathy and sympathy and all of the good feelings that we could put words to, and a gratitude and an amazement. And we would say jealousy, although that is not truly accurate, for we are not denied the direct experience of what you experience. We can check in and feel your experiences, your feelings for ourselves, anytime we want to, and we do many times. At your own permission, your soul's permission. It is part of the arrangement that we make as solar systems, who become grandfathers in a way of, we become gardens as the bud is growing, and the experiences which happen within the solar system that influence the growth of the bud. There is a fusion and a record and a memory, especially of those buds which are birthed through that experience within that solar system. There is constant lineage and genealogy which is shared among energetic beings at multidimensional levels. And all of it is wonderful. And we encourage you to keep this in mind, man in the chair, and to share this message not only through creating a performance as you are doing, which allows us to shine ourselves through, but by your own daily interactions with those other soul buds around you, that you can truly allow yourself to feel the love that you have for people around you without feeling so ashamed, or that it is undesirable, or all of the other membranes which you have placed around yourself, egoically, your personality, for protection. It is time for a thinning of membranes, not only at the level of the personality bud, but also the planet. There are thinnings of many membranes which are occurring at this time. And that is what happens when something is ready to hatch, is it not? These are the naturous stirrings of the Arcturian Collective Thingy, and if we haven't said it before... And then there were another species that did it like this. And that is all that there needs to be said. It is as if someone came through the Trader Joe's checkout line with 2 items, and 2 items only. Everything but the bagels, spice, and bagels. What more is there to purchase?
Thank you for playing with us today in the Arcturian Playground. Do not for a minute think that your exploration is finished. Carry us with you and invite the spirit of compassion and love into your lives. Nothing is more important or more fulfilling. Create compassion and love within your own hearts and minds. Then share it with all around you. Yes, it sounds weird. We know. We would not have it any other way.